Right at it. Right at it. Oh,
Jordan
he's
Spieth.
done it again. Just as he did at the John Deere for his first win.
Welcome to episode number 84 of the Go Get That podcast. Whole squad is here per usual for a little RBC Heritage preview. Really fun course, usually a really fun week. But as we were talking a bit before, it loses a little luster due to being a week after the Masters. But we will try and keep our excitement up. I know Bob is feeling enthused about life right now. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it in his face, I'm sure. Bob, how are you doing today?
We're just kind of just trucking along. Just one of that time of years.
Just putting in the
Stay
miles.
away, everyone. Stay away. But hopefully, screen's length, you should be all right. I don't know what's up. I've been sick a lot recently, so I'm getting some blood work done, and maybe it's just allergies. Who knows? But we'll see. Maybe I have like this new like disease, and maybe maybe it'll be like the next big thing.
We need positivity here, Bob.
Maybe I have like COVID-23 or something like that.
Okay.
Thanks.
That would be chills.
No, thank you.
No thanks to that. Anyways, we have a tournament to preview this week.
We do.
The RBC Heritage. Not my favorite event, but
Interesting.
it has a special
like it.
place in my heart thanks to last year. It's a good course. It's just like you go from the green jacket to that jacket, and it's just like, all right.
Jackets in a 2
But there's some nice traditions. It's a nice course. The cannon thing is pretty cool. And it's a really nice golf course. But it's never really fit Spieth's game, in my opinion. And I said that last year. You really have to drive the ball. You have to keep it in the fairway here, which he was doing very well last year. This year, definitely a step backwards from last year. But still, I don't know if I want to say he can't win this week, but especially after the comments he made Thursday, I'd be very, very surprised if he won this week. So we'll see. I don't have many expectations, and I don't really care what this week looks like. I really just don't want him. I mean, I just don't want him to look like lazy. But
that's a fair ask, I think.
Yes.
But last week was definitely mentally draining on him, given that he put a really big Sunday round together.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'll hear what you guys think, but
yeah, I've went back and forth on this, and Dan's kind of said it's tough to go from the Masters to this week. Actually, I hate to give him credit, but credit to Ryan, friend of the podcast, for saying that Spieth Spieth needs to play high sack golf this week at the RBC Heritage. I kind of agree. World-class players, and that's kind of what Jordan's getting back to in terms of consistency, just don't take weeks off. Like if you were a Scotty fan, Bob, what would you be expecting this week? Probably to be up there, right?
I'd be expecting a win.
Yeah, like that's kind of how I'm seeing it. I mean, Jordan's got likely 3 weeks off after this week. I get he's fatigued, but dude, you got 3 weeks to rest after this week. I expect you to show up and be a professional and grind.
Yes.
And, it's an elevated event. It's not a small event. I expect to see some grind, and I'd expect to hopefully be in the picture on Sunday.
Yes, you have 3 weeks off before your next event, not 4. So don't let this be the start of the weeks off. You can have that on Monday.
Yes. You mentioned the elevated event. Gonna have to bring his A game. You mentioned concerns about fatigue. I kind of think he, when he did his interview, it was like right after he stepped off 18 green, probably. So he was probably feeling pretty tired. And I think that leads into a little bit of it. I'd expect him to still be kind of tired this week, but I think if he just freewheels it, he could probably find himself in contention because that's just how he's playing right now. my expectations for when he gets in contention might be pretty low. But we'll see. I mean, it's a fun week. It's always fun to be the defending champ. Obviously, the cannon shot this morning. We're recording this Tuesday evening. He hit it around like 1:00 or whatever. Davis Love said it was striped, so that's
Probably not.
a decent sign, I suppose. But no, I think he's taken it laid low the first 2 days, which is good. Something you need to do after you said you're tired. So it makes sense. Good group as well with Rahm and Adam Scott. And it's a fun course. I do, if we want to talk about specifics in terms of him winning, I felt like last year he hit a lot of bullet fades around here. And as we discussed in the Masters recap, Mr. Bullet Fade is not quite in the bag at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see. My guess is he takes hybrid off of tees more, because if he can't move it down there with the Bullet Fade 3-wood, he's going to have to lay back a little bit more and I guess hit a straight ball or a draw or something. But it'll be interesting to see the strategy, and if it rains a little bit, it'll change the course quite a bit. So
Yeah.
Fun week, a lot of good names, and I'm curious to see what big names will kind of separate themselves from the pack and really go for the title here, given everybody's probably going to be pretty worn out after last week.
I think, yeah, you kind of mentioned it. He hit a lot of bullet fades last year, and I think that's kind of what makes Harbor Town cool in that aspect. We've noted it. He doesn't have that shot right now, but he doesn't need it, I don't think. I mean, you don't need to hit driver off of a whole lot of tees here. He can hit hybrid. I mean, obviously it helps when you can hit that bullet fade and play more aggressively and hit driver a lot to leave yourself scoring wedges in. But Jordan Spieth's been really dang good from 150 to 200 yards this year. So just get it and play. I actually think his current game, I mean, I don't expect him to win this week. My expectations are high. I expect to be in the picture on Sunday. It's just dang tough to go back to back at an event. The odds are just not high. And I think there's definitely some fatigue. I mean, he's played a lot of golf, but at the same time, like, tough it out, man. You're only 29 years old. You're not a senior citizen yet. Go tough it out there for one more week, and you get 3 weeks off as a reward. So go play well, and that's kind of my thought process behind this week. I want the foot on. He's playing good golf. World-class players. I mean, I'm sure Scotty's probably a little bit tired too. Rahm was out there grinding today on a Tuesday. Like, he's not stopping. And credit to Spieth. I did see that Spieth went out Tuesday at some point today to go to the range and work on stuff. So tough it out, and then you get some weeks off.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's easy to over think his comments about being fatigued. I think he just deep down is kind of tired, but I don't think that changes a ton. Again, I mentioned that he did that basically walking out of the scorers table, so he probably felt pretty exhausted, right? And that influences your comments in the moment. So I'd expect him. I believe the injury report has him as probable to finish. I don't even think he should be on the injury report in that sense. But it's definitely worth noting that this will be nine weeks out of 11. So
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's going to be tired given like how many tournaments he's played, but as Jordan said, like, you're 29 years old. Like,
Tough it out.
come on.
It's like golf for a living. Like,
You're not doing manual labor here. You're playing golf. Like, it shouldn't be that hard to pick targets. There are people stuffing boxes for FedEx, and you're playing golf. Like, why are you complaining? And no offense. I mean, if you enjoy stuffing boxes, then congrats. But I don't understand the. I mean, if I was playing golf for a living, I mean, I'd easily trade places with him right now. So I guess it's easy to say from my perspective. It obviously is very draining playing tournament golf, but tough it out. These are your prime years health wise. So take advantage.
I fully agree. And then I've been right after the Masters ended Sunday. Like, I think you probably we treat the podcast as work, Bob. we all three of us, I think we treat our pages as work.
Yes.
We don't get, financial benefit really, but that's not the point. But yeah, right after Sunday, I started diving into Harbor Town a little bit. And there's a couple changes this year from last year. I don't know if you guys saw them, but there's a new tee on the par 3 7th. That hole is already brutal, and it's now
Which
15
is
yards longer. That was an interesting change. And now the rough. The rough is like it's a 2.5 inches this week.
It's up. Yeah.
So we're used to the waist bunkers being in play, but we're not used to rough being on this course. And if you hit it in the rough, like it's going to be tricky. And the fairways are already small as they are. I'm interested to see what the scoring is going to be like this week because the forecast doesn't scream like real difficult for as windy as it can be on Hilton Head Island. But the new rough, I mean, 7, I assume will play a little bit more difficult. But the rough, we should get some rain, so it'll probably be a little bit softer. I'm gonna assume, well, Jordan won at 13 last year.
Yeah.
I assume you're probably gonna need to go a little bit lower than that this year, but that's just a guess.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair, and I think the rough might be up a little bit because they're expecting some rain. Like a softer golf course, grow it up a little bit, make it a little bit tougher. In terms of draws, I think obviously tee times are out. Spieth's off in the late Thursday, early Friday. There is the potential for some delays, particularly, I guess, potentially Thursday afternoon, but then also Friday morning, which kind of sucks. But early late seems to be the somewhat better draw if you're looking at bets or outrights or first round leaders for whatever it may be. So we'll see how much of an impact that really has, but it wouldn't shock me if it was half a shot, or potentially even 3/4 of a shot, depending on how much the wind blows. But like you mentioned, it's not anything crazy right now on the forecast. So, but I think Jordan talked about this in his pre-tournament interview. Just if they get some of the rain they're expecting, this course can kind of turn into a bit of a shootout. And if they don't, it'll firm up and it'll play really, really hard, especially if the rough is as high as it is, given how kind of narrow it is. So hitting greens is going to be important. And if you hit a green, that's a win because you're not going to be that far from the hole if you do, regardless of where you hit it on the green. So definitely very different from Augusta. A lot more, if it's soft, it's a lot more like target practice, which is not great considering he said he didn't pick targets last week. But
yeah,
it should, in the end, it usually produces a good leaderboard and a very deserving winner.
Yeah, this is still like a target golf course, kind of. There will be a few 7 irons off tees. Like it's your mind has to be in it to win this week, and I think that helped Jordan Spieth last year because his mind was super in it after missing the cut at the Masters. So we'll see what it is. I think we'll get a pretty early tell on how the week's gonna go by how the first round looks. I could see him shooting a stress-free. Well, I wouldn't say stress-free. I could see him shooting a loose, like 66 maybe, but I could also see him shooting 75. So
That'd be unacceptable.
So I really don't know what to expect. We'll see. Again, I'm not going to put too much stock into this week for the rest of the year. Because after this, we have a nice stretch. I don't believe we'll be at the Wells Fargo at all.
No, that's seeming less likely, just based on his fatigue comments.
When's
that he
that?
said it'd be
2 weeks
2
after
weeks off.
this.
It'd be 2 weeks off instead of 3.
Yeah, that's not happening. It'll be 3 weeks in the Travelers appearance.
Yeah, it appears Travelers will be on the schedule, but
which is good for me.
It is good. We'll have boots on the ground.
We will.
Boots on the ground.
Maybe the Memorial as well. Maybe the Memorial as well. I don't know. I because if I did, I'd drive.
It's a Memorial?
Well, my friend would drive. Because my friend really wants to go. Because it's not a problem getting tickets. I can get tickets, but I've been traveling so much. We're going to the Bahamas next week as a family, and then just traveling for schools and stuff. I don't really want to take another plane. But my friend really wants to go. My friend really wants to go, and he offered to drive. So, I mean,
that's a nice offer.
Maybe it's not that bad a drive. It's like 10 hours, 12 hours. It's a day trip, but he enjoys driving, and it would be a good time. We'll see. But regardless, I'll be at the Travelers at the very least. So, because I guess he has to play the Travelers if he skips Wells Fargo, of course, unless he pulls a Roy, which I had to bring up because again, no explanation yet is pretty embarrassing from him, in my opinion. No, I'm not going to back down from that take. He's essentially the one who set all these rules. It's just, I mean, to do it after a miscut seems like a whiny thing to do. I'm sure there are plenty of players who don't want to play this week. So
I want to agree with you, Bob, but I just don't know if there's something going on in his family that he just doesn't want to speak on yet.
maybe, but
if it isn't, I fully agree with you. If it's fatigue or anything like that, it's a joke. But there could be something going on in his family that we just do not know about. He doesn't want to talk about.
there could. But at the same time, there was no reason for him to miss Tournament Champions at all. He's never played there.
Well, yeah, but he likes playing in Europe over there during that time.
Strategic alliance. Yeah, I mean,
Right,
yeah,
and
but I think that if you're gonna make that if you're gonna start this whole elevated event thing and then he's not gonna show up to the first one, it's like
Yeah, but I
a
don't.
fair
He
point.
never plays the first one really. I think that's kind of the point of it. Is like that was the one he was gonna skip, and now something's come up again. If it's fatigue or if he's like not in a good mental spot after training so hard for the Masters and then playing so pathetically, that's one thing. But I kind of think there's something going on.
see.
But that doesn't mean your take is invalid or anything like that. It's a very potentially valid take, right? We just don't know at this point, and it's not a good look for Rory. I'd agree with that. At this moment, at this point in time, it's not a good look. But we'll see. I mean, no Rory this week, no Jason Day this week, no Hideki, and no Zalatoris.
Well, no Zalatoris forever. Well, not ever,
Right.
but
Not
that's
ever.
so sad. We didn't discuss it on the Masters recap. Will Zalatoris being out for the year. That just sucks, man. I don't know a dude that doesn't like Will. He's such a good dude, and he missed the President's Cup last year, and now he's very likely going to miss the Ryder Cup, which is
the unfortunate thing about Will also is that people his age don't have the back issues he's having. Like that's going to be a chronic issue for the rest of his life. So it's scary because that's the type of thing that costs you a Hall of Fame career potentially. So
or a career in general.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
To be honest, like
who knows what the swing will look like? But yeah, it's unfortunate to say the least. I don't know if you guys have any more about the course, but
no, I'm just the nerd in me is very interested to see how it'll play with the new rough, just because we're not used to that. But
yes,
it's a cool course. It's different. There's not many courses on tour like Harbor Town. I guess there's some shorter courses like I guess Colonial, like Harbor Town's on the dang water.
Right.
It's cool.
And there's very few drivers.
Yeah, you can play it so many different ways. Like like Dan said, I said it earlier, we don't have the bullet fade, but you don't need it around here. You can play different shots off the tees, and he needs to recognize that. Don't try and force the fade if you don't have it, because then you're gonna be in bunkers, OB,
Yeah. I think the fade though too, like even with the 3-wood, obviously that was the shot he tried to hit at 16. I feel like I have some memory of him playing that shot quite a bit around here last year. Especially on some dog leg kind of rights, but we'll see. It's very important to hit the fairway because your trees and Spieth's an escape artist, unlike probably 90, he's in the top 98-99 percentile of escaping out of stuff, but you can't expect to do that and play good golf, score well, I should say. So big emphasis on accuracy off the tee. We shall see if good targets and good swings are made Thursday afternoon. So it'll be fun to play with. I will enjoy watching Rahm play as well.
This course in particular?
I think this course could suit him really well, but I also think he's got to be exhausted,
It could suit him poorly, and he could win by 6. So
he was out there on a Tuesday working. I mean, that's what the best players in the world do, man. They don't give in. Like I don't want to hear Spieth talking about like, and Spieth
Well,
was
I
out there
think you guys
today,
are
so
overdoing those comments though.
I
Like
agree.
they're
I
bad,
agree.
but
Yeah.
they're like not. I mean, I don't know. He's just being very Spiethian in his honesty.
No, I agree. I come Thursday, I don't want to see dumb decisions being made. And then I just was out. I don't feel really good. But
Yeah, that's fair.
that's more
Valid.
what I'm saying. I just don't want to see stupid mistakes on Thursday.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I don't think you can. I think stupid mistakes happen when he's not mentally fatigued.
Oh yes, very much so.
So but I know what you're getting at. I know what you're saying though. So I'd agree with that very much.
Yeah.
Bets. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can start since I'm at the bottom with my outrights. I have two this week, and honestly, course history or not course history, the week before history doesn't matter as much here. Obviously, Spieth won here last year, coming off an MC. Plenty of guys have done that in the past 10 years as well. So two outrights for me. One, Colin Morikawa. I've been waiting to jump back on the Morikawa train. The wind is not blowing as much this week, which means he's got a chance. This course, in theory, should fit him. He was in the final group on who I think 2 years ago when Stuart Sink dusted the field that year, which is crazy, by the way. But that's where Morikawa was at. And if he can just make some putts, he'll be really relevant. He played really well early in the year. So I think decent shot for him this week. He opened at 21. That's what I saw him at because I was up early on a Monday. And then Justin Thomas. I'm playing a lot of JT this week. I'll get into that a little bit more, but why not? I mean, he can't seem to putt right now. And Spieth couldn't putt last year and he won. So obviously it'll be a little different because all the best players in the world are here except Rory, so and Day and Hideki, but you get what I'm trying to say. But in theory, this fits Thomas to a T, right? Like less drivers, more kind of shifty shaping 3 woods, and good iron play inside of 150 yards. And he's got the good draw, and he's motivated, and it just seems like he's kind of due in a sense. So JT outright at 28-1 as well.
Yeah. I'll go next. I have 3 plays this week. 2 of them are outrights. I low-key want to change my placement, but I'm gonna stick with it. I have Lowry at 40-1. I took him 10 to win 410. That's sort of just a gut pick. I don't know much reasoning. He was in the picture last year, of course.
Well, he should have won last year.
Thankfully choking.
Realistically.
Yeah.
But
appreciate
and
the
then I have
Lowry
Cantlay.
camp.
What'd you say?
Appreciate the Lowry camp.
Yes, very appreciative. And then I have Cantlay 15-1, which was his early Monday morning number, as you said, before Roy withdrew. That was a nice number to get because he's like 12-1 now. So I have 30 on that. I think Cantlay's gonna have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder this week after the comments. I feel like he's gonna want to prove some people wrong. He plays this course very well, of course, being in the playoff with Mr. Spieth last year. It's not a major, so
yeah,
I definitely think that Cantlay will be in the picture at the very least.
Yeah.
I wanted to switch out Kuchar for Cantlay top 10, but I'm not gonna do it. So,
Cantlay is striping the golf ball right now. And he putted awful last week at Augusta, which he tends to do, but he has very good course history here. And it wouldn't.
These are very different greens than Augusta.
Yes.
These are sanded, I believe.
Yeah, he probably will win here at some point in his career. Could this be the week? Very much so. But it would not shock me if he and Xander just both peaked at the Zurich in a couple weeks and beat everybody by 8 again, and kind of did that whole shtick that they do. That would be fantastic. But Cantlay winning would not surprise me at all. I just couldn't bite on the outright number.
No, I was gonna say I honestly, Jordan, I'd love to hear your pick, but I think we're hitting it outright this week. I think there is a very select few amount of people that could win this week.
Well, I think we've picked four of the like 13 that probably could win this week.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as to say Thomas could win this week. Thomas is in a slump, but
But could he could win this week. Come on.
could. I'm interested. I don't think Rom's gonna win this week, but I'm interested to see who Jordan has.
So we mentioned the greens. I just had to throw this in. The Poitravalis overseed. Very different from the bent grass at a national. And my outright pick is I have one this week, and I am also on Justin Thomas. So I'm also on 10 points, Dan. So we'll leg up on Bob. It's funny how we mentioned like JT's in a slump. It really like
That's not even that bad.
exactly
to be
like
honest.
it's like I love to talk down on Thomas because I don't love him, but like the iron play is still like good. It's just not great. Like 100 to 150 yards, he's in the 93rd percentile. 150 to 200, he's in the 72nd, which I mean 2 years ago he's in like the 95th. So obviously a step back. I think short game's important around here. He obviously has that. He's what 28 to 1.
It just
He's
seems
gotta
it just
chip
seems
like
off.
and I agree with like the whole Spieth vibe last year of getting in early and like getting the work in. Like he's pissed. He's 28 to 1. I mean I don't see for 10 of my 100 points why he isn't worth it.
Yeah,
And it's a very weird week because like so many dudes I think are fatigued over last week, Spieth and included. I think he's coming in rested and will perform.
I'm pretty sure last year Mr. Spieth was like 45 to 1 to win.
Yeah.
Maybe even 50.
I don't know if you could find him at 50. I think you could find him at 45 though, for sure.
Yeah, because I
He
remember
might have
him
been
being
50 might have been
very,
out
very
there.
high.
But
And I know I did not bet him that week for once. And I had to live, but
yeah. No, it's
it
I
worked.
mean, right. Yeah, exactly. I
I'm not
think
betting him this week, so maybe he'll win this week.
Yeah, honestly, like if Spieth didn't say he was tired and his history as like defending,
Yeah, not a lot of
like,
people.
he's
are.
not at a bad number.
I saw a couple
Like
dudes on Twitter on Spieth, but probably
at
not as many as he
18?
would have been.
Like this, it kind of I feel like Spieth wins when he's not really supposed to. And this could kind of fit that mold in a different way. Anyway, I don't want to get my hopes up too high, but it's possible for sure. So,
That's possible.
all right. Who placements? Who wants to start there?
I'll start since I already gave away my placement. So
Oh yeah, this
I
is
have
a guy.
Kuchar. I have Kuchar top 30. Kuchar loves this place. He loves these greens. I've been on him all
Playing
year.
well too.
He's playing well. He's been a top 20, top 30, top 40 machine. I didn't want to take the minus 120 on him top 40, so I took the plus 120 top 30. That might come back to bite me in the butt, but
Do you
we'll
remember my key on Kuchar, right? My tip?
no.
The louder you scream Cooch, the better he plays.
I will
It's
take that to heart.
It's a proven science.
I will take that to heart.
It's a
Thank you.
proven
I thought you were about to
science.
pull out some like nerdy stat.
Yeah,
No, the louder
I
you
was
say
waiting.
Cooch, the better he plays.
Once he said his tip on Cooch, I was waiting for like some joke about how he doesn't tip.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I wasn't going there.
I was waiting
Although I
for some
coulda went
wordplay there, but
there. I
no,
coulda
it's
went there.
good. Bob, let's hear your Cooch right now.
Not with this voice. I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna come out. I'm nervous to see how it sounds.
If he
Honestly,
top 30s, you have to do it.
Exactly.
all right, I'll give a massive 10-second, loud as I can, Cooch if you top 30s.
I love it. I love it.
Perfect.
All right, I gotta give my placement. I love my placement this week. This guy's played here twice. He has 2 top 40s. I'm going Christian Bezadenhout
Ooh, Bez.
Your
at
max.
plus.
Twitter's gonna like that a lot.
Yeah. Have I bet him earlier this year?
He's a loser, so
Well, it's only a
maybe.
top 40. You damn bet him top 40 at API and he missed.
And he bottled it,
Yeah.
despite having 3 top 20s on his resume there.
Yeah. I love Bezadenhout this week. Like a lot. He's plus 135 to top 40. He's played here twice. He's top 40 both times. He's striping the irons right now. He's got a good short game, which I value around here, and he's putted these greens beautifully both times he's played here in 2020 and 2021. At plus 135, I love Bezanin out the top 40. I have 35 of my points on that this week. Love it.
Nice.
Thank you.
It's a good placement. I've also gone.
I hope.
I'm hoping course history is sticky here, which I think it is. I'm going. I said I was, rolling with the JTs this week. So give me JT Poston to top 20.
It was a fake G.
Now, I don't know. Have you guys looked at JT Poston's history here?
I assume it's pretty good.
But I saw he made a hole-in-one on his second ball today.
Yes. Yes.
Congrats.
So guess he has 4 trips here. How many top 10s?
3.
Yep. 3
Yeah.
top 10s,
I
including
remember
a quiet T3 last year. And in
I-
2020, he had a top 10 when the whole world was here after COVID.
I love that play. He's in good form, so.
And he's playing really well. I remember he was on Valspar coverage when he T10'd there, and he missed like three footers on the back 9 to kind of slide his way out of contention. I think it was on Saturday, but he's playing well. He's got great history. I got him. He was at plus 280 to top 20 earlier. And that seems a bit like a misprice. I know a bunch of guys are here, but he's played really well here. He's playing well right now. It might make too much sense. So of course he's probably gonna like T56 or miss the cut or something like that. But
I'm sending that to Elise right now because I think that is a fantastic play.
and yeah, so I like give me some JT Poston on inside the first 2 pages of the leaderboard come Sunday's conclusion.
I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Do you guys have any other plays?
I do.
I have one more, but Jordan, you can go ahead.
So I have a matchup that I'm putting 55 points on. He is a minus 122 favorite, so I guess I'm kind of taking the easy way out here.
No, some juices.
Yeah,
Good juice.
I like this a lot. I'm going Ryan Fox over Davis Thompson. Ryan Fox quietly had a great week at Augusta last week.
He did. Yeah, he was on the coverage a lot.
Kind of flew under the radar. He's striping his irons well. Davis Thompson has completely fallen off the face of the earth since, what was it? The freaking American Express.
Yep, when he and Rahm dueled out there.
I mean, he's been really, really bad. He has lost strokes with the irons like badly in 3 straight appearances. He's never played here. I don't know if Fox has played here either, but I think Spieth kind of mentioned it today here. This seems like a very good course to, have played a couple times before you get good at it, just because of the placement that it requires off the tee. So Thompson doesn't have that, and he's just not playing well.
Yeah.
His short game sucks. Like I value short game around this place, as I've already said. Fox has a good short game. Just looking at our friends at Data Golf. I mean, Data Golf has Fox as the 74th best player in the world right now. They have Thompson at 151st. So I'm putting 55 of my points on Davis Thompson to get steamrolled by the big man, Mr. Fox.
It's a nice play. I'm also going matchup, going a little 3-ball. I've been hitting my 3 balls recently. And I'm rolling with another JT, Justin Thomas again. I originally didn't have an outright on JT in my plans. But the more I look at his kind of profile and the way this week is playing out in my head, I think he could very much be slipping on that jacket come the end of the week. So thankfully a week late. But
the only jacket
I have him over Tom Kim, who again hasn't played here and he's been kind of mid recently. He hasn't been as good as he was in the fall. He played last week at Augusta. He played the whole time. And I think this is a course where you need to know sight lines. You need to know targets. And I think in theory, it could fit Tom Kim really well going forward, but I don't think this is the year to press those buttons there. Other guys, Matt Fitzpatrick, I know he played better at Augusta. He was actually kind of making a move up the board when it was playing really, really hard on Saturday morning, which is not surprising. He does have good course history here, but that was kind of before he got longer. The longer he's got, the worse he's played here, which I thought was interesting. And he's got that neck, and he played Sunday. A lot of it is just that JT did not play Saturday. I guess nobody played Saturday afternoon, but he did not start round 3 and then did not play 20 plus holes on Sunday. And I think that gives him a bit of an advantage this week. So I'm rolling with him at plus 170 to take down Fitzy and Tom Kim. And then those are my 4 plays for the week.
Like it. I like the post and play a lot, which means
Thank
it'll
you.
backfire, obviously. But
Yes.
I mean, I'm looking at his page right now.
Who? Poston?
Poston, I could see him win this week.
Dude, I was thinking about it. I saw him at 75 to 1 earlier. I was like, he could.
He seems like a dude that could pick this one off, I feel.
But I didn't want to. I also thought about a top 30, but I don't know. Which was plus money, but I liked the 3. I've been killing 3 balls recently, so I wanted to keep rolling with one of those, and then still squeeze the, what I don't know the terms for betting very well, but I just wanted a little more bang for my go get that
some
point.
value.
Yeah, some value on a top 20 there. So
I like that. And I also think I think we're starting to dial in. You're starting to see we were all in the deep red. I think Jordan's prediction of us all being green by the end of the year is starting to come to fruition.
It's tough with 100 points, man. Like it's very difficult.
It is. I mean, you can't really hit outrights. Like the outrights we've hit, we've had 200 points.
Yeah.
And
you can play more.
Right. I think
maybe next year we look.
I've been thinking about it.
I also think too we've all just got a different thing that we're good at kind of spotting. Like I feel like Bob, your placements are usually pretty solid.
Yes, I actually have a rundown. I think my placements are up for the year.
And I've been killing these 3 balls recently.
Yes.
I know I just jinxed it right now, so I'm knocking on some wood, but I mean, I hit Brendan Todd in a 3 ball. I hit 2 3 balls last week. The 3 ball before. It's just easy to fade 2 dudes or fade 1 dude and ride with it. And of course, Jordan is very, very consistent across the board. So
I was happy
this week. Yeah, I'm up 170 on placements and up 30 with missed cuts, which is basically just like missed cuts, made cuts are basically just a form of placement, I guess.
Is that just woods in there?
A lot of those bets are woods.
Yes, and Fowler.
Woods missed cut, woods made cut, Flower.
Did Flower hit? I don't think so. Right?
No. Fowler. By the way, this would be a good.
Yes, because I had Flower made cut.
I was
because you had him top 40.
Yeah, I remember that. That was ugly. The thing with Flower this week, I mean, his numbers are great. Have you guys seen his course history here?
His history is awful. I was just gonna say his history is terrible here.
5 of 6 cuts. I just could not, do that.
I almost took. Yeah.
But it wouldn't. I mean, I don't know what he is for a top 20, but dude's been T15.
What's his miscut number? That's what I'd consider. Is it?
Yeah, no, I know. It's interesting.
Plus 160.
He does not. He does not play well here. He
really does. Just following Ricky Tracker on Twitter, Ricky hits some just off the planet right now, and I mean, this is a place where you could get in some serious trouble, which I assume he's probably done in the past. Just
for sure,
trouble here.
There's not a ton of water, right? Some of the part 3s have it, but it's more just you can find some water.
Yes, you hit it. Yeah, I mean the freaking stats page of the course literally says that all 18 holes are in play with water, but I mean in essence, unless you really hit one offline, I don't think that's the truth.
Okay. Well, because I think one is you have to hit a ground ball to third base to get in the water there.
Yeah, well, I assume if one person has hit a ball in the water at any point in tournament history, they just say the water's in play, which I guess it's possible, especially if it gets windy. Like I don't think it's gonna be that windy this week, but
Yeah.
if you get
It's in,
crazy windy, like
it's in play on number 8. That's a big hole right there. 8. That kind of dog leg left green. It's kind of small, sits up a little bit above like a bunker on the side, and then it just goes straight into the drink.
yeah. I know Bob was saying this course isn't one of his favorites on tour. I don't know.
No,
if
no,
it's
no, 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 no,
What
no,
were you
no.
saying? Don't put. I won't put words in your mouth. What
I
were you
was saying
about
that it wasn't one of my favorite tournaments. I said it
Oh.
was one of my more enjoyable.
What's
courses.
the difference between the tournament that you dislike and the course that you do like?
Yeah, it's just like it's a bad spot in the schedule. It's right after the Masters, so
Alright,
it's a
okay,
late.
agreed.
It's
That's fair.
it's sort of a letdown week.
I was talking about this with Jordan after you left the Masters last night.
Left the Masters.
They have the Masters recap. They should move Mexico to the week after the Masters. Cause like
Ron
I
would
guess
go there.
for Rom, but like or
They
just
should move it to the week before the Masters, so that Rahm has to travel from Mexico. That's what-
no. But like
I
because
like
then
that
move
idea.
it so Wells Fargo.
But then he'd almost be guaranteed to come to the Masters with a win every year, which would not be enjoyable.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And because you can't move Craig Ranch after the Masters, even though
Ranch is a major, so
it would
it's
fit
got to
right.
be.
You can't have back to back. You can't have the Masters and then another major. You can have the Craig Ranch major and then the PGA.
Yeah.
But
It has to be
you can't
first
do
because
it
you can't have because then
it takes
then it
away
would
from
make
Craig
the
Ranch.
Masters the second biggest major in a 2-week span.
Right, that precisely.
You can't have the Masters be first and then have then have it be let down by a bigger major the next week, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I
you
mean,
made-
I mean, would people even show up to Augusta? Because it's not
I
great
don't
prep
know.
for Craig Ranch.
It's-
It
Yeah.
It
No.
definitely isn't great prep. I think that you'd see a few people skip. I definitely think Payne would think really hard about skipping. I know
mean-
Spieth wouldn't because Spieth loves to wear himself out mentally.
Right. Well, yeah, he would play 12 out of 13 weeks leading up
man.
to get great
Yes.
prep for Craig.
And then
Ranch.
when he didn't win the major, he'd blame it on the.
Yeah, he'd be
Of
like, "Oh,
course.
I played too
course.
much."
No, but what I was gonna say about the course, and there's only 3 of them. I think the par 3s at Harbor Town are maybe the most underrated on tour.
I agree.
I think the par 3s of this course
seven's
are
a great
incredible.
hole. 13 or
only
14
3 of
whichever
them?
one that is a great hole.
Yeah, it's only 3.
So how many par 5s are there?
Well, no, there's 4. I'm sorry, I can't read. I'm sorry, Dan. So
okay.
there's 4 of them, but I think there's some of them.
I was tripping for a second.
I couldn't even remember that there was.
Well, 7. It's par 71, I believe.
Yes,
Right.
I think
There's
7.
3.
I love 17 too, with how open it is and how.
Yeah,
17
17's a great par 3.
It kind of reminds me of freaking 12 at Augusta, just because picking up the win there is brutal. But
Yeah, a little.
it's a
in that
great.
sense,
It's
yeah.
it's a good closing stretch. I wish 18.
Nice.
fairway
We
was
saw a whole bunch of missed putts on that.
We did.
hole.
We did.
17. Well, except for Sepp Straka.
Except Straka then made bogey at 18. Thank you very
Then
much.
I think he
in,
made
in
like
Spieth
double.
fashion,
Double
in
at
Spieth
18.
fashion, as they'd say.
Yeah, he hit the fairway because you can't miss that fairway, and then hooked it.
Oh, he
into
made
the,
a mess of that.
Hooked
Jeez,
it into
yeah.
the shit short left, dumped it out over, ran it past, got it in like 5 or 6 or whatever.
Thanks to the Straka cap, of course.
Yes, of course.
Thanks for making it a 2-man, not a 3-man.
Yes.
Man,
But-
so I'm just thinking here. We're wrapping this up, and we're gonna have a recap obviously on Monday, and then we get 3 weeks, and then another just massive. I mean, it's gonna be a season defining stretch 3 weeks from now. I would
Yes.
say.
So when I go to the Bahamas, I'll have to figure out how I'm doing the recap, but the legal age down there is 18 for everything. So I'm gonna get a giant Jordan Spieth open ticket printed at the casino.
I love the
for
sound of
everyone to
that.
see. Yeah, just a massive amount on Jordan Spieth to win the Open
I love the sound of that.
because there's plenty of value right now with Koepka and Roy completely overpriced.
Love it.
So
Interesting. That is a good use of going to the Bahamas, I do believe.
yes, that's the only reason I'm going is to print a
To place a
Jordan Spieth
massive
course, why
speed
not?
ticket.
But it should be
That's
fun. I'll have to figure out how I'm
fantastic.
doing the recap. Maybe I'll call in from my phone. Because I don't think I'm gonna
Call
bring my,
it like a radio
I don't,
seat.
Could
I
be
don't think I'm
iPhone.
gonna bring my stuff, but
Yeah, we've got Bob on the phone from the Bahamas. How are you?
What question would you like to ask, Bob?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sitting by the pool, sitting by the pool doing a podcast.
I love it.
Perfect.
We'll see then.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up there. We'll be back with the recap with Bob calling in from.
Yeah, we have a few other sports really getting into the thick of things. You know, well, the Premier League's getting into the end, but like the NHL and NBA playoffs are starting up. Congrats to myself and Dan on having NHL teams in the playoffs. I know that all three of us hopefully are rooting for the Timberwolves tonight. Hoping that the Lakers are out early.
Come on, Dan. I'd hope you're rooting for the team.
I mean, the Timberwolves kind of shot themselves in the foot the other day.
Still, it's a one game. Anything can happen.
Or you could say punch themselves in the chest or the wall.
They're a dysfunctional group.
We'll see. I don't know. I mean, when I look at the west side of the bracket, like the Warriors are going to the conference finals. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Yep.
Like, come on. It's that they're gonna own the Kings so hard it's not even gonna be funny.
Yeah. They're 6th seed and they're minus 400 favorites.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, the Kings don't really play defense, so it makes sense. But
nobody in the NBA plays defense.
Well, and to be fair though, it'll
horrible league.
It'll be Kings Warriors might actually be a really fun series, but the Warriors win in like 6, I think.
And then they'll play the
then they get the Grizzlies or the old Lakers. I'm sorry, Minnesota. They're not winning tonight.
I will say it would be fantastic to get to play the Lakers.
But yeah, because the Warriors are the home team too.
And we'd get to eliminate Mr. James. Be fantastic.
And then they'll get the Suns in the conference finals, and Katie and Chris Paul will be beat up, and then they'll just be playing.
Well, Chris Paul
I'm a little title again this year.
And I'm a fair weather basketball fan, but I'm still a little afraid of the Suns. I feel like
they have one player that worries me. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Devin Booker is the dude that scares the crap out of you.
The Warriors have the best player of the generation, so
it's very true.
Yes, it is. It will be the Curry era. Officially, if he wins number 5.
Correct.
It'll be the Curry century so far.
I mean, Kobe had 5, I think.
Yeah.
But
well,
that's a story for another day. But
let's say to say James is not in the conversation. So that's
okay. Let us
on that note.
Different conversation for a different day.
All right, everyone.
Good night. Take care.
Peace.